All right. Is it interesting seeing yourself on screen?
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes.
Close up.
But,
Yeah.
but this is today's.
Yeah, today I just wanted to talk about being here in Livermore and being a Filipino in Livermore. I'm sure you've seen a lot of history here and you've seen this whole town just grow. I just want to learn more about you, how you got here, and then your involvement in the community here in Livermore.
Mhm.
And maybe something to look forward to in the future. Yeah, definitely. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? Your
Well, I was
parents?
born in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and what else?
Where in the Philippines?
I was born in the province of La Union,
La
Cubao, La Union, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to school. And the first year I'm supposed to be in high school in San Fernando, the war broke out.
World War II?
World War II broke out. So I only have just six months at that school, and then went home because the war was already there. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if was it 41?
Yes.
The war.
Yeah.
The war was
Yeah.
1941. So after that, war is war. Everything happened. So, but we survived the war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Did you stay in Philippines after the war?
oh yeah,
Okay.
I stayed in the Philippines during the war and after the war.
Mm-hmm.
And after the war, I went back to school because I was in high school then
Mm-hmm.
that time, and we had different teachers. There was a lawyer. It's not just teachers, but professionals too, because
Yeah.
they can recruit nobody because it's just after the war. So I only finished third year high school in the Philippines because we are poor and my mom was sick. So I had to take care of her.
Yeah.
So after the war, my future husband was in the service, and we had been writing together after liberation. And after a few years that we had been writing each other, he came back to marry me.
Oh.
That was in 1950.
Mm-hmm.
That was
So
then,
about 10
yeah.
years more. Mm-hmm.
So after we got married, he waited for me because he took 6 months vacation so I could come with him here to America.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you both came to
So I
America.
came here in the year 1951. I could recall it was winter time. It was February, winter time, and my uncles met me at the airport. I only have a thin sweater because I know they didn't tell me. They didn't tell me that it's winter time in America and it's too cold. So I just got a thin sweater, and boy, it was so cold in San Francisco. So we stayed in a relative's house in San Francisco.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after that, that was funny because I stayed at their house for a week because I was too weak to travel because when I came here, we took the ship, the President Wilson, the big ship.
From the Philippines
From the
across the
Philippines,
Pacific?
yeah, it took us 3 weeks
Oh, yeah.
to arrive here in America.
Yeah.
So I was carrying some then that time.
You were on the ship too. Oh, yeah.
No, I don't remember.
I was 3 months pregnant with him.
Mhm.
And it's a long story. I survived at the ship because the ship is just rocking like a cradle, just going like that of the big waves in the middle of the ocean. So I survived, and we landed in San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
How did you
going
feel
back,
when you landed in San Francisco? Was it like, wow?
oh
Or
yeah,
was it like, no, it's
oh
cold?
yeah, I'm just shivering with cold because I didn't expect that it could be that cold comparing to back home.
Yeah.
So I stayed with my cousin for a week because I was too weak to go back to the country, because then that time my husband used to work in the fields and they only have, camps for workers.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed in San Francisco for a week, and that was funny too because my cousin said, "Boy, we should go shopping for a jacket because it was too cold for me." So we went to this big store with escalators, at Penny's, J.C. Penny. That was
Oh,
the
yeah.
store that we went. So my husband was with me, and the escalator went, but I wasn't with him. The escalator takes two in one step, but I was left behind him. He didn't even take care of me in the escalator because I don't know what escalator is. It's just going up like that, a machine. So they were up there already, and I was still downstairs. So my cousin came back to get me. That's really funny. That's
New
really funny.
technology too, right? I'm
So
sure.
that's how, yeah. So I went home. I'd say home because that's where they call home the camps.
Yeah, talk
My
more about
husband,
that.
yeah, oh
Mhm.
yeah, they used to work, in the fields and things like that. So
Like
they don't
Central
have a
Valley,
permanent
Stockton.
house. They don't have a permanent home. So wherever there's work, there's a place that we could go, we could stay free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he took me to this place. So he worked, and I was carrying him. But
Yeah.
then sometimes there's work here in Pleasanton.
Uh-huh.
When the work in Pleasanton is finished, we have to go to Stockton. And it was that time that it was asparagus, so we have to stay in the camp too.
Yeah.
So he was born in Stockton. My
Mm,
son was born
okay.
in Stockton. So after that, like I said, wherever there's work, we have to go.
Yeah.
We were like
Yeah.
nomads. No, we don't have a permanent home.
But there's like hundreds of people, huh? Thousands of people?
Oh, sure.
It's not just
Oh, just a few. That
Oh, at the
time in
time?
the 50s, yeah.
Yeah.
In one camp where we stayed, I think there was just a few people working in the fields.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
25, 30 people at the very most.
Oh, okay.
Then, so my life goes like where there's work, we go
Yeah.
and work.
For a long time, was it like
Oh,
that?
for a long time.
Uh-huh.
We hardly, like I said, wherever we go, there is a permanent, like a camp to stay free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Sam went to school in Pleasanton, and his brother too went to Pleasanton. Who else went to Pleasanton? Just you and Adrian.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you had 2 kids or
I have 5.
5?
Yeah, I have 5. Sam, Adrian, Mars that died, that passed
rest in
away,
peace.
and then Jimmy and Eileen.
Okay.
3 boys and 2 girls.
Okay. Nice. And so if we continue, how did you find a permanent home?
Oh, we finally, we went back home after I was kind of tired staying in America, and then we're just gonna go home. So we just stayed there for a few years. Then we came back. Sam and his dad, Adrian, came first because they have to earn money to get us here back.
Yeah.
Because it takes money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
But
people don't even have, like,
But
they'll never
we
get.
have the airplane that time already.
Okay.
We could go by air.
So
So they stayed here for 2 weeks to just secure money for us coming back. So it took us another 3 years before we came back. I and my 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
how
so-
we started. So
And they
after
earn the
that-
money here in
Yeah.
the Tri-Valley and just working the fields?
since my husband was in the service, we had to rent apartments in Pleasanton. So
Okay.
that's where we stayed for the first time.
Is it because of Camp Parks or? What do
Yeah,
you mean?
it's
Oh,
just
so-
like Cottondale Village in Pleasanton. There's a camp where the servicemen lived.
okay.
But after that, it was vacated and they let us rent those apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, my husband had a job in Pleasanton post office.
Oh,
And I
okay.
have a job too at Valley Memorial Hospital in Livermore.
Oh, okay.
So we saved a little bit money to buy this house.
Yeah.
And I only paid 22,000. The first down payment is
22, y'all.
22,000 that
Yeah.
time. So we had some money and we got this home and we stayed here for that long time.
Yeah, we're
We
still
only
here.
had one home, just this house.
Yeah.
So we had this house in the 70s. We
Mhm.
bought this house in the 70s. That's more than 50 years we stayed
Oh,
in this
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Sounds like a amazing life and so simple, yet
Oh, yeah.
not simple, and at the
I
same
had
time.
to, there's
did
a
it.
lot of story, but it's a long story about coming here to getting married and coming here to America. We could probably make a little book of it.
Let's make a book. I'll write it. I'll write the story. You tell me the story, I'll write it. Or I'll record it and then I can write
So
it. Or we can do AI can write it.
That's what we have today.
Yeah, that's what we have today. I mean, I'm just
Mhm.
saying. So in any case, yeah, so then tell me a little bit more about living here in Livermore since the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so were you the first Filipinos here? Were you
There were a
one
lot
of-
of Filipinos
Oh,
there
yeah?
at that time,
Uh-huh.
but not too many yet. You
Okay.
know, this was in the 50s, you know.
Mhm.
So we belong to Catholic
Mhm.
religion. So we start going to St. Michael's, and I had some friends like Mrs. Gallardo and the
Mm.
old timers in Livermore,
Mhm.
and we started meeting people because that time there were not too many Filipinos yet here,
Mhm.
Filipino families, just maybe not too many at
Yeah,
that time. Yeah.
Yeah, under 10.
Yeah, that's like two
Yeah.
hands. Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
And did tell me about Livermore Philam then. How did that start?
Oh,
Were you
the
there when it started?
American organization,
Mhm.
it started with Mrs. Gallardo.
Mhm.
So after that, but this organization is just one president for 2 years.
Mhm.
After 2 years, we're gonna vote for another candidate for the
Mhm.
president.
Mhm.
So I knew like Mrs. Gallardo, Mr. Santos,
Mhm.
Begonias.
Mr. Begonia,
Mhm.
Mr. Martinez,
Mhm.
and yeah,
Okay, Corey and all that.
and then Corey.
Yeah.
The last one is Corey.
Yeah.
Besides the other ones at our organization, there's still one like Connie
Yeah.
Thomason.
Mhm.
She was president too
Yes.
Mhm.
one time, and this retired nurse I know. But I think there were like maybe 7 presidents since I was here in Livermore.
Yeah.
But like I said, it will only take 2 years before we have to elect another president.
Yeah, I saw your name in the I was looking at some past like documents, and I saw your name as part of the board of Livermore
Yeah.
Lamb, right?
I
So maybe in the
was-
80s?
It was after Corey's presidency when I was one of the board members there.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Did you like
Oh
it?
yeah, we like it. But then she was re-elected because we can't find nobody that we like, so she made another 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was good president,
Okay.
Corey.
So how have things changed on this side? You know, living here for so long, since
Yeah.
the 70s.
Yeah.
Was it what is it like back then compared to right now?
Livermore?
Yeah, Livermore, and then just living here on the north side here, like, you know, in this area.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, comparing to Stockton or the other cities, the other cities that I was in, I think I prefer Livermore to live here in Livermore.
Mhm.
It's really nice place.
Mhm. Did the family work with the grapes?
Oh, Sam did.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam did,
Okay.
and all my husband and some of my kids work in the vineyards too
Yeah.
during picking time, grape picking.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Whenever there was work, right? Is what it was.
But
Yeah.
some stuck to the vineyard and he still works there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he got a good boss, but then he passed away. But I think her daughter took over.
Hmm. What about well, what vineyard was that?
What's the name of that?
It was Valley Cellars back in the day.
Valley Cellars.
Mm-hmm. Where is that?
It's off Wetmore by Sycamore Grove Park.
Oh, okay.
You know area.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm working with the Livermore Heritage Guild,
Yeah.
and they just yesterday I was there. They're doing these tours now
Mm-hmm.
of like the old wine caves
Right.
and the old like wineries. So there was a winery called like Dos Mesas or something like that.
Okay, somewhere out there.
Yeah, over by Sycamore Grove,
Mm-hmm.
right next to the Veterans Hospital.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So then it's just interesting to see all that old stuff.
Oh yeah, come back.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is
there are a
coming
lot
back.
of vineyards here in Livermore.
Now, right? How
Yeah.
many were there before? It's only like 1, 2, maybe Kincannon and Wente.
That's it.
That's it.
We hit it right on the
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So then, are you excited for your birthday?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did
I'm
you have a
really
dress
excited.
already picked out?
I'm really excited, but then I thought I was just having a regular birthday, but my kids prepared something
Oh, yeah.
better for me that we have to have it at my niece's house. It's a bigger house here in
Yeah.
Livermore.
Mhm.
That's why we're gonna go.
Yeah, it's exciting. I got the invitation. I said RSVP. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my youngest grandson made the design of my. I didn't even expect that it's gonna be as fancy as that, but I mean, he's an artist, so he did it for me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So what would you tell your family? What do you want to tell your family? Anything?
Well, I'm so grateful that all my kids are very cooperative and they love me so much. That's why they gave me, I think, to celebrate my 95 birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. We're definitely celebrating you. I think you're an icon.
Pardon?
Yeah.
An icon. It's like you know how we're talking about like you're like a megastar.
Yeah, good way to put it.
That's better. It's like
Yeah.
Philippines megastar. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. And definitely you've been here in Livermore for so long and you're part of the culture and the history.
Yeah.
So you should be celebrated, especially being one of the first here, right? And still being here, still living
Oh,
here, still have roots here, roots in
Oh,
the
yeah.
vineyards. Sam was
Mm.
born in the fields in a sense, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, and you had a long story and history
Oh,
that
yeah.
deserves to be written down and captured, right? And told.
Yeah.
Yeah. So